Hey everyone, welcome back. How are you all doing today? So we are now 10 months away from the release of Star Wars Episode 9, and as we get closer to April 11th, we are only getting closer to Star Wars Celebration, which is when they will unveil the official teaser trailer and the title reveal most likely as well for this movie. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, like I say, this movie is going to be a big film. It really is. We do know that this movie is going to have a lot of connections to the prequels, the originals, as well as Star Wars Rebels, and even borrowing elements from the EU and Legends material. Now, that's one of the big plans by J.J. Abrams in order to really make this movie gravitate towards all the fans. He's using a lot of elements from past aspects of the Star Wars franchise. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Rey, Poe, and Finn, and the Dark Prince. Specifically, a description of both Rey, Poe, and Finn being guided by an individual in a purple cloak, leading them through a black market. This individual is dubbed as the Dark Prince. It's described that he is leading Rey and her crew through the exotic city. It's described that they are going through narrow hallways with tons of creatures repairing and developing weapons as well. The Dark Prince is said to be the leader of the exotic city that helps Rey, Poe, and Finn learn more about the First Order's headquarters location, of the First Order itself, and how he has helped Snoke and Ren before in the past. The next goes over Rey handing the Dark Prince something of value in exchange for information, to which he brings them to his palace. So I want to go over a couple of parts about all of this, and I went over this briefly about a week ago or so about the Dark Prince. We haven't been hearing about him too much. Now, this is a character that's going to have a purple cloak in this movie. He was actually described to be a humanoid male. And I think that this character most definitely is loosely based off of course, Prince Xizor. Now, Prince Xizor was a popular character in Shadows of the Empire part of the EU, and J.J. Abrams most definitely is, of course, taking a lot of inspiration from that. First things first, the exotic city here appearing in Episode 9, I think is an obvious nod to the planet of Falleen. Now, this exotic city location has a lot of jungles and a lot of green around it, and if you look at the planet Falleen in the EU, same exact thing. And also the same exact thing goes for this character that is dubbed as the Dark Prince, having his own palace, very much like Prince Xizor. So, looking into Episode 9 now, I want to go over this black market where Rey, Poe, and Finn go to. Now, we heard about this lightly before, I would say about 4 weeks ago, maybe more than a month ago or so, that the exotic city is going to play a big role in this movie, where we're going to have a lot of sequences involving both Rey, Poe, and Finn going on their own mission, which eventually the First Order, or at least the remnants of the First Order, or a certain faction of them, intervene, and that's where we see a battle between, of course, Rey, Poe, and Finn in the alleyways, going through the black market, taking out stormtroopers, so you can really see how this scene is going to tie into that scene. Now, what I find very intriguing, though, is how this character, dubbed as the Dark Prince, has somewhat of a similarity to that of DJ, and the reason as to why I bring this up is because DJ actually helped the First Order. As he said in the prison cell, me and the First Order codage go way back. So in this scenario, the Dark Prince has actually done business with Snoke and Ren before in the past. So, that's the thing, Rey, Poe, and Finn are trying to get information out of the Dark Prince, since he no longer does any kind of business with the First Order, and he's willing to give up the actual headquarters of the First Order and its location. And that's what leads us to that final battle, most likely at the very end of the movie, where we have the First Order headquarters on that rocky world. So this whole entire sequence, it sounds very promising. I believe that this is the same exact set that Kevin Smith went to over at, I believe it was Cardington, where he actually expressed that it was the biggest set that he has seen in his entire life, and that J.J. Abrams is doing something incredible with this movie. So the exotic city, like I say, another environment that was tossed away from the Episode 7 actual film in the finalized version of the movie, that was supposed to appear in the actual film, that ultimately became the inspiration for Canto Bight in Episode 8, and now in Episode 9, JJ is bringing back the true exotic city. So the exotic city, we're not quite sure what the name of the planet is actually going to be. We're not even quite sure if there's going to be 1 or 2 jungle worlds in episode 9, because we do know that there's going to be 1 jungle world taking place at the end of the movie, right under the major space battle, as well as this one, which is dubbed as the Exotic City, which is the location of the Dark Prince and his palace and his own black market. So he owns this black market. You have a lot of creatures developing weapons and repairing weapons, and this also ties into a lot of the other creatures that we saw in the leaked photographs, I would say about 3 weeks ago. And I gotta say, guys, it really sounds like this movie is becoming promising. It sounds like a big movie. It has a lot going for it. It has a lot of callbacks to the prequels and the originals. And I honestly am just very fascinated by it. I cannot wait to see exactly what we're actually going to see in this movie by the end itself for the characters of Kylo Ren and Rey. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.